Hey, what's up everyone? This is SnackBox. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Guys, Plarium just released new info about the upcoming mythical champion that's going to be available from the new clan boss, and he looks pretty interesting. Now, if you're interested in the details, if you want to look it up yourself, you can go to the official Raid Shadow Legends Discord. There you can find it on the announcements. Now, let's actually take a closer look ourselves. So, Embrys the Anamoly. It's a mythical champion, support type, affinity is force, and he's from the Knights Revenant faction. Interesting. Suggested game modes, PvP, arena, bosses. And where to recruit, this champion can be summoned by collecting his fragments from the Chimera chests. So you will get him from the new clan boss. I think it's like similar to Mithrala from Hydra, right? I think that's how it's going to be. And then we're going to take a look at his base form. So his A1, Fetid Glaive, is an AoE tag, destroys each target's max HP by 3%, stacks up to 30%, also increases the duration of one random debuff on all enemies by 1 turn. This effect cannot be resisted if enemies have any necrosis stacks. Okay, so this is actually a pretty solid A1. Really strong. It's an AoE tag, which is always good, and then the duration increase of debuffs by 1 turn. It's of 1 random debuff, but still, it's an AoE attack, and yeah, that's pretty good. So I'm really curious how you can get necrosis stacks on enemies. Then his A2, Void Stare. Places a True Fear debuff on all enemies for 1 turn and 50% decrease attack debuff on all enemies for 2 turns. These effects cannot be resisted if enemies have any necrosis stacks. Then grants an extra turn. Wow, so extra turn skills are always good. Yeah, so a lot of synergy with necrosis. So I'm curious if there will be something. Yeah, okay, down here there will be something about necrosis. The A3, the Unmaking. Attacks all enemies. So another AoE hit. Removes any stone skin buffs and replaces them with True Fear debuffs. Block buffs will be replaced with block buffs debuffs. Wow. Okay, so he will, with 100% chance, remove any stone skin buffs, or like let's say 97%, because you always have those 3%. To fail, right? So, wow, okay, so he needs accuracy. So you definitely want to build him with accuracy. That's huge. That's a huge skill. Very good, honestly. That's like he removes stone skin and puts a control debuff on the enemy as well. And then he also converts block debuffs into block buffs. That's crazy. Okay, that's an interesting skill here. But there's so much more. Okay. Also removes any buffs positively affecting stats and replaces them with their mirrored debuff equivalent, such as increased attack being replaced with decreased attack, continuous heal and strengthen will be replaced with heal reduction and weaken. The mirrored debuffs will have the same duration as the buffs before they were replaced. Wow, so this is actually the same what Amius does in Cursed City. So wow, so not only does he remove stone skin, it's an attack, and then he puts control debuffs like True Fear on all enemies, and then he converts all the buffs into debuffs, into the mirrored debuffs. That is actually crazy. But wait, there's more. Then steals 5% of each target's turn meter for each buff converted into a debuff by this skill. Also decreases the turn meters of all enemies by 20%. Oh my goodness, this champion is absolutely crazy. That skill is nuts. For this current arena meta, he's probably the new, the new Armans. These effects cannot be resisted if enemies have any necrosis stacks. So I'm still curious, how do you get necrosis stacks on enemies? But wow, this skill is crazy. And then also, I'm not sure how much you can reduce those cooldowns, but you have a 5 turn cooldown here and 5 turn cooldown there. I'm assuming it's going to be like 4 and 3 turn cooldown, I would assume, something like this. But man, I'm telling you, this skill is absolutely insane. All right, let's take a look here. Okay, he has a passive, and of course the metamorph. An HP in all battles aura. Okay, that's, yeah, whatever. So the passive, wrongful existence. Whenever an enemy is killed, places 1 necrosis stack on all other enemies. Necrosis stacks cannot be resisted or blocked. Wow, okay. Necrosis stacks can only be removed by reviving dead allies. This effect does not work against bosses and their minions. If there are multiple champions on the team with this skill, this effect will only activate once. At the start and the end of this champion's turn, instantly activates any necrosis stacks on all enemies. Alright, so I'm still not pretty sure what a necrosis stack actually does. Is it like poison or like similar to poison? Something like this. But at least we know how to get necrosis stacks on the enemies. It's just you just have him you just need him on the team, and then you need to kill 1 enemy, and all the other enemies will get a necrosis stack. So that's interesting. You most likely won't have a necrosis stack right before you use this skill. So, but after that, it makes sense, right? So once you kill 1 enemy, it's pretty much game over, I guess. Okay, that's the base form. Now let's take a look at the alternate form. This looks so great. Suggested game modes: Arena, Hydra Clan Boss. His A1, Unmaker's Blade. Attacks 1 enemy, places an extra hit if the target has any necrosis stacks. Also places a block revive debuff if this attack kills an enemy. Wow, okay, this is big for Arena. Like a block revive is always good. Atomize, his A2, an AoE attack. Deals double damage to enemies whose accuracy is lower than this champion's accuracy. Ignores 50% of each enemy's defense whose accuracy is equal to or higher than this champion's accuracy. Let me read it again. Deals double damage to enemies whose accuracy is lower than this champion's accuracy. So if you build him with high accuracy, he will most likely deal double damage to enemies. Now, I don't know if you want to deal damage with him if you build him with accuracy. I mean, you could build a hybrid build, kind of. Something like that, but then again, you want to make sure you remove that stone skin in this base form, right? So, interesting though, really interesting skill. So either you have the double damage or you have the defense ignore, which is basically also double damage, technically, or like almost. Yeah, so that's an interesting skill, but I hope the multipliers are good, because he really needs to, kill. So there's definitely, you can build him in 2 ways, I would suppose, like with accuracy or without. Your life is forfeit. A3 swaps HP with an enemy. If the target is a boss, fully restores this champion's destroyed max HP and fully heals this champion instead. Each time this skill is used, increases this champion's ignore defense effect by 10% while in their alternate form. Stacks up to 50%, then grants an extra turn. Wow, okay. That's also a really, really interesting skill. Like if he's, for example, if he's in arena, if he's low HP, and you can like swap the HP with an enemy that is like has like way more HP, And then an enemy is low HP, you get an extra turn and you can kill him with this. If you do enough damage and block, block the revive as well. Like block revive on this champion, which is crazy, honestly. That's a really, really interesting kit. So yeah, so let's see. So another metamorph, of course. And then he has a passive as well. Degenerator. Passive effect. When this champion dies, reflects damage equal to 50% of the fatal hit back to the attacker, including any surplus damage. Wow, that's crazy. That's an insane passive. Oh my god, wow, that's a crazy passive. So you get punished if you kill him. That's wild. So if he gets nuked, like your nuker will nuke himself as well, right? Whenever an enemy is killed, places 1 necrosis stack on all other. Okay, so again, he will place necrosis when an enemy dies. Active effect. If this champion is about to get killed by a fatal hit, preempts that hit and instantly places a revive on death buff on them for 1 turn before the damage is taken. Oh, wow. So crazy, a 5-turn cooldown. So let's say he has like 10% HP, right? And then he gets hit by a 100k hit. He will be revived because of the revive on death. And the attacker will get 50% of the fatal hit back. And also, like, the surplus damage is included. So a 50k hit. And then he's back. That's crazy. That's a crazy kit. Honestly, that's a crazy kit. I'm really hyped about this skill, because in the current arena meta, there's so much stone skin. Nobody's, or like a lot of people are not even trying to compete in the speed meta. They're just, trying to go second with stone skin. And this guy will definitely be like an 100% counter to all stone skin teams. So yeah, I can already see him being first pick in the arena, in the live arena. So that's a crazy kid, a crazy champion, actually. And the fact that everybody is going to get him, I don't know if that makes it better or worse. But it's an amazing kit. Now this kit, in his alternate form, yeah, I can see it being better in Hydra because he's stacking this ignore defense the longer the fight goes on. Also, he can heal himself, and then he heals himself, stacks ignore defense, and then grants an extra turn. You can build him with less accuracy, like a little bit less accuracy than the Hydra heads. And he will ignore 50% of their defense. Oh, actually, he doesn't even need accuracy for Hydra. Yeah, he doesn't need accuracy. He doesn't place debuffs. Necrosis doesn't work on bosses. And I would just probably go full damage for Hydra. Like full damage. And then with this passive, he has so much survivability. And when the Hydra head kills him, he also reflects some of the damage. 50%. And then revives himself again. Wow, so this guy is actually really, really good. I think they did a really, really good job with this. Now, I don't know how this will affect the live arena meta, but yeah, this is very promising with the stone skin removal. This is very, very promising, and I think he will definitely catch a lot of people off guard with this. So yeah, I'm curious to see how long it will take to get him. How many fragments are you able to get from those chests? But yeah, we know definitely for sure the top players will have him first. And yeah, then we will see what it will do to the current meta, if it will change the current meta, how he will perform in different areas. But honestly, if his multipliers are not completely trash, I think he's an insane mythical champion. Okay guys, so thank you guys for watching. Hope you enjoyed this. Leave a like and a comment. Let me know what you think about this champion. Do you think he's OP? Do you think he's not that good? Let me know what you think. And with that being said, see you in the next video.